Life moves pretty fast. If you don't go outside and look around once in a while, you could miss it. You could miss it very easily. It's very easy to miss all the life that is happening around you. Because life is always changing. It's always changing. Doesn't matter who you are, where you are, what you are. Everything is always changing around you, right? Sometimes for the good, sometimes for the better. But if you don't stop and look around every once in a while, you could miss it, right? And I think, honestly, that's one of my biggest fears, is actually missing the life that's happening all around me, because I'm so caught up in my own head. I'm so caught up in what's going on, right? External factors, that I'm not actually paying attention to the life that's happening around me, right? I feel like I've spent a lot of my life already missing out what life could have been on, because I was so preoccupied in what was going on in my own head, what was going on in the world around me. Sorry about that, my phone cut out for a second. But yeah, I feel like for most of my life, I feel I missed so much of what was happening around me, because I was so preoccupied in my own head. I was so preoccupied with what was going on, that I just was not able to pay attention to all the life that was happening, right? And that is, that's one of my new objectives, is to pay attention, right? And I feel like it's very important to look around every once in a while. Get out there, do stuff, do something that you want to do something that you feel like you might need to do, right? Appreciating all the little things around you, all the animals, the plants, the environment, everything around you, because things are always changing. I know things have changed a lot in my own life, specifically, very, very much so. Things have changed very much. The environment that I'm in, the mindset that I had, the people that I surround myself with, all these things have changed. Things have come and gone. Things have stayed gone permanently, Things have stayed with me permanently. Everything around me has changed very significantly. And I think it's very important, especially for me, to really take some time and look around. Look at all the beautiful things around us. There's this analogy that I had seen a while back, where it was this dude who had his hand over this line of ants, right? And how the ants are in their own universe and we are in our own universe, right? And how our two universes don't collide unless we make them collide. And I thought that was pretty a neat perspective, because we're so caught up in our own universes that we forget that so many other universes can exist and do exist, right? So as well, it's very easy to miss what's happening because you're so caught up in your own. I'm gonna sit right here. This place looks nice. Oh. One thing that I don't really do, have never really done didn't really do for a while, is sit down with my own thoughts and really recollect on what was happening, right? I was not really one to think about in deep detail what was happening on in my internal world, right? I was too focused on the external, right, that I could not even begin to process all the changes that were happening, right? Because I was so focused on my external world and all the bad things that were happening, I couldn't even notice all the good things that were happening. And after having a significant mindset shift, I realized more and more just how important it is to really appreciate all the changes that you have undergone, because it's very easy to miss it, because a lot of people just get caught up in, what it was that was, right, instead of what is. For me, for example, I would be so caught up on the fact that I didn't hit this goal that I had, when in reality I should be appreciative of the fact that I was even able to get so close to the goal that I set, right? I was able to progress up to this point, to a certain point, but I would be so fixated on this goal that I set for myself that I wouldn't even be able to appreciate the progress that I have made, right? You see this in different forms too, like people so caught up on like there's this like dream weight that they want to hit, that they'll be so fixated on this goal, like, oh, I'm not at this weight, when in reality they should be thinking about the fact that they've made this progress to like they've made significant progress from where they started to where they are now, right? But because it's just the end goal that they want to hit, they cannot truly appreciate the progress that they made, the changes that they've underwent, right? You see this in every, I'm inclined to say almost every single like venue or area of living, right? Because that's just from my experience how people tend to be, not really fixated on what it is that like the changes that they've undergone, but only fixated on what could be, right, instead of what is. And that's one thing that I've struggled with a lot myself. I was focused on just the goal. I just focused on the goal instead of on the progress that I've made, on the changes that I've undergone and dealt with. I know humans in general have a hard time accepting change, right? Yet most of us go through it anyways, whether it's by choice or by force. And we don't tend to always appreciate it, right? I know I haven't always appreciated change, but looking back and through all the change that I have undergone, not only with myself, but just throughout my life, like different areas of my life where, maybe I've gone somewhere new or met new people, did a new thing, right? It really has built my character now, where I'm much more appreciative of the change that I have gone through, and I can recognize it and allow myself to experience much more change, because the world is always changing around me. But if I stay so cooped up in my own head, I'm gonna miss it. And so I guess this message, it's just a reminder for myself to really pay attention to what's happening around you and take time to understand and appreciate all the progress and change that you have already gone through, right? There's goals. I think it's good to have goals, right? I think it's very important to have realistic goals that you can achieve, right? But if you're so fixated on the goal that you forget all the progress that you've made, then how important was this goal really to you, right? That's how I feel, anyway. But yeah, it's just a reminder for me to really appreciate and experience all the change that's happening, and just to take time and look at it, man. Sit in the knowing that everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Like, look at these beautiful trees behind me. I love trees. Yeah. That's what I got today. I'm gonna go ahead and go out, get some more walking in me. I just wanted to sit down and go through a different path. If you're seeing this, I love you. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Make sure to take care of yourself, because the only person who can take care of you is you. And always remember, life moves pretty fast. So take some time to appreciate all that's happening around you, because you could miss it. You very well could miss it. Have a good one.